here, and I'm back with another episode of One Woman in China. The hardest thing about the move was sorting out what to do with our dog, or our dog, Ruby. I'm a dog lover. I've had a dog as a best friend for the majority of my life, and in particular I love little staffies. So we've had a dog for just over 3 years. Her name's Ruby. She's beautiful. You'll see her there. And I was determined that she would come to China with us because we know we're going to be here for a minimum of, say, 2 years is our expectation. So I contacted this mob called Pet Relocation. You can see a screenshot of their website there. And I must admit they were great. They were really good communicators and they answered all my questions. They were very professional. They're American based. I think they're in Arizona. So I said to them, this is where we're going. This is the sort of dog we've got. Can you help? And they said yes. My concern was that Ruby would have to go into quarantine. And I had people had said things like she's going to have to be in quarantine for, 3 months. And to have a dog in a cage without any love for 3 months is just not doable. The good news is this Pet Relocation mob, if you work with them, they can sort it so that your pet doesn't have to go into quarantine, which I thought was fantastic. I was very excited about that. So there were 2 options on how to get Ruby into China. The first one, that was the most affordable of the 2 and probably the easier, was for Ruby to fly into Hong Kong. They would then drive her, somebody would meet her flight in Hong Kong and they would drive her to Shenzhen in China. And from there she would be put on a domestic flight to Zhuhai. Zhuhai is about a half an hour from where we're living at the moment. And all of that was involved around avoiding her having to go into quarantine. The other option was for her to fly into Beijing, and then she could have had a domestic flight down to us here or been picked up and driven down to us here. The problem with that is that my passport had to be present. So in other words, I had to be present with Ruby through that travel. And because she was coming to Australia while we were already here, that was going to be a bit of a pain in the neck. So we thought we had it all sorted and that little Ruby was going to fly to Hong Kong, be driven to Shenzhen, get a domestic flight to Zhuhai, and we would meet her there. And I was very excited about it. And then the price came in. And to do that was going to be $10,000 US. $10,000, people. So the family just couldn't warrant spending that money. And even if we did, we then found out from Pet Travel that because she's a snub-nosed breed, because she's a little staffy, she probably wouldn't be able to get back into Australia. Now, China isn't a verified country for dogs to come into Australia from, which would mean she would have to go to another country and then from that country into Australia. Even if we did all of that, there's a very, very good chance that she wouldn't have been ever let back into Australia again. So had we paid the $10,000 to get her here, when we go home, we probably wouldn't be able to take her back with us, and we thought that was a bit scary. Do not fear. Although it was awful, 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 what we ended up doing was flying Ruby to Adelaide, where my wonderful, wonderful brother, Cliff, I love you very much, who is also a dog lover and in particular a staffy lover. And hi to Laurie too, because I know Laurie, Cliff's better half, loves Ruby and Ruby loves her. Thank you for the care, Laurie. So I'm so lucky that my brother said he would take Ruby. I'm just going to show you some vision of when I picked Ruby up in Adelaide Airport so you can see the size of the cage that she flew in and that she arrived safely. So it was very sad. I miss Ruby very much. Usually she's sitting right here at my feet when I work in the office. She follows me around the house. She wakes me up in the morning. We do miss her terribly, but don't be sad for her because she's in a fabulous place. Here's a bit of vision of her first night at Cliff's house with her rug right in front of the open fire. And I know she's being really well cared for. and I'm sure that she loves her holiday house. So I just wanted to fill you in on what happens with pet travel. If you are going overseas, there is a very good chance that you can take your pet with you. You just need to be prepared to pay some significant bucks. And depending on the breed, you may not have any trouble getting them back home with you. I've got some other really cool, more business orientated, apartment orientated, shopping orientated stuff coming up in the next few episodes. Thanks for coming on the journey with me. And I'll see you soon.